know this isn't like many of my other videos, but this is kind of more of what I'm actually into. I'm a Lego guy. I have Pokemon videos on the way, but for now, you guys will have to settle for this Arkham Asylum 18 plus set number 76300 review. Literally just opened the box. The box is on the ground right over there. And in my last video, I said that I was building a city. So at the end of this, when this review is done, I will show you guys what I have in the city so far. So let's get into it. Let's actually get this all together. This comes with a pretty decent amount of figures there. I am super excited for this. This is the first Lego like DC set that has had something other than just Batman and Joker for a while. So I am excited for the DC revival going on, especially with the Legacy of the Dark Knight coming out next year. This is something that I am extremely excited about. So let's get into it. Now here's the build. I just finished it probably a couple hours ago. It took me about, I want to say 6 hours to build. You know, not too long, it wasn't anything crazy. But man, oh man, building this thing was chef's kiss. There are so many little Easter eggs all over it, and just little goofs and gaffs and stuff like that, that while you're building are just super cool to see. I also just realized I didn't have the ambulance in frame there. But before we go into the actual build itself, we're going to go over the figures first. So we'll go over the build after, but let's get into the figures so that you guys can see just the amazing details that they put in some of these figures. So to start this all off, we are going to be starting off with Batman. So this is the Batman figure that comes in the Asylum. It is basically the exact same as the Batman figure that's been coming out for a while. The chest print is slightly different. And it also came with this like dynamic cape. Personally, I would have preferred just a regular cape to swap out for the dynamic one, but you know what? It's not bad. It is not bad, as well as if you have him at the top of Arkham, it kind of looks badass, not gonna lie. So that is basically, it's Batman. It's Batman. We're starting off with the lamest ones, being most of the Bat family. And that's, you know what, the lamest one is just Batman. The rest of the figures in this set are absolutely amazing, great stuff. But we're starting off with Batman because he's Batman, right? You can't get Batman wrong. You really can't. Just give him a black suit and a cowl, and he's Batman. Now this is one of the security guards. Both of the security guards have the exact same torso and legs and hat. They just have a different face. So this one has a female face with a hearing aid on the ear, and then the other one just has a generic male face. Not really much to write home about either of these. Of course, they are needed. It is an asylum. We need someone to be watching over the, you know, criminally insane. So it's nice to have a few of them, except there's one thing that I would have rathered, and that would have been actually getting named doctors like Hugo Strange, or even swapping out another character that we haven't looked at yet for their doctor variant, which we will look at them soon enough. But let's continue down the good guy route yeah. So this is the Robin that we get. This is Damian Wayne Robin. I believe it's based off the current Batman run. Again, he also has a dynamic cape, dual-sided, yellow on this side, black on the back. I love it when they do this. I wish they had done it for the rubber capes that came in the Batman the Animated Series set. I wish that one had a bit of hint, like a hint of blue or something on the inside. That would have been great. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Robin. This is the first Robin we've gotten in a while, if I'm remembering correctly. And I know this because I've been looking to get a Robin to have in my Lego City, my Batcave section of it, and I haven't been able to find one for the longest time. And here we are. We finally get a Robin, and this guy is really cool. I like his torso being gray because, you know, most Robins, he's very different than any other Robin we've gotten. You know, obviously Damian Wayne, so he has the sword. He has a dual face print, one side being a little bit scared. And his back print, I don't want to mess up this cape, but his back print is quite nice. Again, it is Robin, but it is also amazing that we are getting these figures again. I am so happy about this. This is such an amazing set. Now let's move on to the next figures. And we got Batwoman, the only Bat Family member who had his CW TV show. And that show was kind of crap. But, you know, we got Batwoman. Batwoman is a really interesting figure, again, with the dual-sided cape, black on one side, red on the inside. She has this little grappling gun, which is quite nice as an accessory. Her cowl, I don't have the old Batwoman, so I don't know if this is the exact same or not, but still really cool. I believe it is dual molded. This is a really, really cool cowl piece. She has two face prints, one like a little bit angry, one with her smirk. I prefer the smirk because I kind of think it gives off that cocky attitude that Batwoman usually has. I don't really like this cape too much. I think it's a bit too big because it's like, it's all sprawled out and it kind of like creases in weird areas, and I don't really like it. Not gonna lie, I don't really like it. Her back print, it's just a back. Like there's really nothing nuts with this figure. She's a good at inclusion. I do think that I would have preferred a Batgirl than a Batwoman, but at the same time, it's still cool that we got a Batwoman, since I think the last time she appeared in the set was 2020, possibly? I don't know, I might be wrong by that, but the date will be on screen. She is still a very, very, very nice figure. Now, let's move on to the last Bat Family figure. Well, not last, but the most important Bat Family figure from this set. Let's move on to that. Now, this is Batwing. And when I heard that he was going to be a part of this set, I genuinely did not believe it. This figure is so nice. All right, he does have a sticker for his little jetpack thing, but this figure is so nice. I love the torso print, the leg print, and this helmet, this cowl that they made. They made it for the Batman Forever batsuit, but man, does it fit Batwing. I really like this figure. It's probably, I wouldn't say it's my favorite figure from the set, but it's high up there. This figure is amazing. I'm a sucker for silver batsuits. All right, silver batsuits as well as like light gray batsuits. Both of those, chef's kiss. This is absolutely amazing. I am so happy about this figure, and I'm so glad that we're getting some new Bat Family members. It's great. So now let's move on to the last kinda member of the Bat Family, and that would be Catwoman. Now, Catwoman's kind of an interesting case. Don't get me wrong, I like this figure. I do like this figure. This figure looks nice. But she has the generic, I believe those are the generic superhero legs. The torso's nice. She even has like a little cat insignia on her belt over there, which is nice. You know, face print's cool. Using the Black Panther ear pieces. Back print's just lame, as well as she has a back head print. The only thing about this figure that I'm not super happy about is the one that was released prior to this one, based on the same New 52 suit, was just so much better. It had the molded cowl piece over it with it was so much nicer. I like that one way more than this new one. This new one's not bad though. I'm happy with it. And of course, you know, um, it looks good. It does look good. And I'm happy that Lego's kind of been fixing up their printing styles, because I know when you print a flesh tone or a white or something on a black head or a darker torso, sometimes it looks like they're a ghost. But they've really figured out their printing style, and I'm happy with it. This is a good figure. Don't get me wrong. I do prefer the older one, unfortunately. Now we've made it to the most controversial thing about this set, that being the jumpsuit figures. Now, I love these jumpsuits. I think that they're really nice. You know, you got the Arkham Asylum back print, the nice front, and then the legs with the pockets. I like these jumpsuits. I think that they look quite nice. Do we need 6 of the figures in these jumpsuits? I would say no. It is a little bit unfortunate that we got a lot of these figures in jumpsuits. Like, the only one that I'm really kind of okay about is Joker. I think Joker is the one that I'm like, you know what? He can have a jumpsuit. We get so many Jokers. I literally just swap him out for any Joker torso and you got yourself a good Joker. It's so common to get him. I think that this is fine. And this is a nice figure. He's using the Jack Nicholson Joker head, and I think this is Zorro's hair from One Piece. So obviously, it's not bad, but I don't know if this green hair really suits Joker. It doesn't look all right. It looks all right. It looks all right. I'm okay with that. He comes with his little bang gun. There's not really much that you can say about a lot of these figures, because they're just kind of head jumpsuit, and that's it, you know. And it's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. It's a plastic children's toy, so it is, you know, it is what it is. I decided I'd get these 2 out of the way right away, because obviously Joker and Harley Quinn are very, very, you know, we get a lot of them, so there's not really much to write home about. I think this is the hair from the Lego Batman movie. Her mallet's kind of neat. She has 2 face prints, one with a wink, one with bubble gum, and she comes with roller skates, which I'm sat here thinking, how the hell did you get roller skates into an asylum? I feel like that's a huge security risk. I don't support that. Arkham, get your security under control. Everyone's breaking out. You let a spoon get through, I swear to bejesus, this is, okay, she didn't even fly off. See, that's, all right. Anyway, let's move on to the next jumpsuit character. Deep Penguin. This is kind of neat. I like his face print. I believe this is a brand new face print. I don't think they've ever used this on a penguin figure before. I like his fur collar and his hat, but again, how did he get a fur collar into Arkham and then also put it around his jumpsuit? I don't fully understand that. As well as, I believe Penguin is not supposed to be in Arkham. He's supposed to be in Blackgate. So, you know, that's kind of cool. I understand why they put him in this. You know, obviously it's a Batman set. They want to put in some iconic Batman villains. So let's put in Penguin, just put him in a jumpsuit. I understand why. Still doesn't mean that it makes complete sense, but I'm okay with his inclusion. I like his head, I like his hat, and I have a bunch of extra Penguin torsos and stuff like that, and like little suits that I can just put short legs on and make a nice little penguin with this. So, you know, there are a few figures from this set that will definitely be getting upgraded. Now we're getting to the 3 figures out of the jumpsuits that I really, really wish were not in jumpsuits. First one up, the one that I was least really caring about, was the Scarecrow. Now, this face print on him is absolutely stunning. I love the green eyes, the twisted smile with little like threads attaching a mask together. It's absolutely magnificent. It is beautiful. Even his backhead printing with the little straps and like sewing marks, it is just an absolute beautiful figure. Now, there are a few things I wish they had done, and I believe Ash and Flash kind of summed it up perfectly, and that is either give him a hood or give him a hat. That would have made this figure so much better. Unfortunately, they didn't do that, and so now he's just rag headman. Like he's not a Scarecrow. He doesn't look too much like Scarecrow. He needs that hat. I'm trying not to complain about this set. The set is absolutely beautiful. I want you guys to believe me about that. I love this set and what it stands for. There are just a few things that I'm like, man, that could have been so much better. You know, when I started off this segment about the Arkham jumpsuits, I said, you know, the bane of this set is the jumpsuits. And then I stopped myself and I had to re-record that section because I was like, that would be so fun to say for Bane. But obviously with Bane being the second last figure that I wish wasn't in a jumpsuit, doesn't really make full sense to to say it then. But here we got Bane, and this is such a good, like, his face is so amazing, and then his design for his Venom tank, so cool. This is such a nice figure. Again, kind of ruined due to his jumpsuit, which is unfortunate. But that doesn't stop it from being one of my favorite figures from this set. I remember when I was a kid, I had the original Batcave, and so that original Bane, I still have laying around, and I'm extremely tempted to just take this head and put it on that old Bane, because this head is so nice. But there's not really much I can say about these figures other than I wish they were in their full suits. Unfortunately, they are not, though. The most devastatingly one that is not in his original suit, or should I say lack thereof suit, is Killer Croc. We have not gotten a minifigure Killer Croc since 2006. Let that sink in. This is the first minifigure Killer Croc we've gotten since 2006, and he's in a jumpsuit. That is just so devastating and upsetting, especially because of how nice that face print is. Imagine what his body would be like. Imagine what his whole suit would be like. It would be just amazing. But even just this with the jumpsuit is still nice. Like I said before, the jumpsuits are nice. But man, it's just disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's a Lego DC set where we're getting something other than just Batman and Joker. So a win is a win, right? And you know what the best wins are? Villains in their actual suits. There are 4 of those in this set. There's the Catwoman that we just saw earlier, Mr. Freeze here, and then 2 others that we'll get to after this. Again, I'm putting them in order of the ones I like least to best. So this is the Mr. Freeze that comes in this set. It's not bad. It is the one that already came out, except they added I think that's like a light blue air tank. I don't know if I was going to say cyan, but I think that's just light blue, which is nice. You know, Mr. Freeze is one of my favorite DC supervillains. just because of his backstory that was given to him in the animated series, and every other adaptation that's come of him afterwards has just been so amazing. And I love his like redeemable nature and how you can feel for him. Those are my favorite Batman villains, are the ones that you can really feel their pain. He isn't my favorite Batman villain. My favorite Batman villain is unfortunately not in this set, but we'll get to that later. This one is... Mr. Freeze is awesome, though. And this suit does look alright. It's not my favorite Mr. Freeze suit, but it's alright. Riddle me this, Batman. Who is the second best figure in this set? It's the Riddler. There's no riddle. You see him in front of you. He's there. This is a really, really nice figure. I love when Riddler is in a nice suit with question marks all over him. The greens, the purples, it is beautiful. I love this figure of Riddler. I would say this whole outfit for Riddler is the best Riddler figure I have ever seen. The only thing that would make him better would be the hat from the Lego Batman movie, but in the same light green that the rest of his suit is in. Because I believe that one's in dark green. But this is such an amazing figure. He's got question marks all over his body. The only thing, he has a crowbar for his cane. I understand why. It's not like they Lego wanted to print a full-on, or mold a whole cane for him or anything. So I understand why he is the way he is. And that reaches him the number 2 spot on the villains in this set. I think everyone could see this coming. The Poison Ivy, man. They nailed it. This is the best Poison Ivy I have ever seen. Right? The Lego Batman movie one, it's pretty high up there. Just her face in that version I don't really like. But this is Poison Ivy. She's got a little bit of a green hue to her skin, kind of like she's sucking up that chlorophyll. Get your fill of chlorophyll right there. I don't know where this hairpiece is from, or if this hairpiece is like unique to her, but it allows to put a flower in her hair. She is absolutely amazing. I believe she has a second face there of a little bit of an angry expression. She is just amazing. All right, this is one of the best figures I've gotten in a long time to just look at. She's beautiful. She's going in the jar. So now we get into Arkham Asylum. Just kidding. We gotta talk about the van first. So this is not gonna be like a full-on examination of every single Easter egg. I'm an idiot. I don't know all the Easter eggs, all right? I see stuff and I think it looks cool. If it don't look cool, it don't look cool. So we will go to what I know and what I think I know. If I don't say it correctly, there will be a correction on the screen. But we have the Arkham Asylum van. It has this license plate number. I think that's important. I don't know why, though. I know the number up top, though, is something to do, I believe, that is the set number for the old Arkham Asylum. 7785. Now that is a beautiful, beautiful Easter egg. That is an insanely awesome Easter egg. Now that's making me think that this might be an Easter egg to Arkham's first appearance in the comics? If it is, that would be cool. But that number up there is in reference to the old Arkham Asylum, which, as you just saw, I do own. I got it for a steal, sealed in box. It was awesome. But now that we've gotten past the van, we can start on Arkham. Now, we're going to go top to bottom here on Arkham, just so that it's a little bit easier on me, because this is such a big set that's jam-packed of references. So we start with the roof here. We got a little bit of a Harley Quinn sticker here. This is a beautiful arcing thing that just goes to a little point. That is amazing. And then we got a little water tower here with Joker writing on it, saying ha ha ha. A little bit of a broken down panel here, just kind of showing Arkham is in such disarray. A little spotlight. And then over here, we have a little penguin graffiti, which is kind of neat, all the graffiti up top on the roof, personally, I don't really care about. Like, it's kind of neat to see, but it's not super important. We got a Harley and Ivy heart there with, I believe, no, that's not a question mark. I thought it was a question mark, and I was like, oh, no, the question marks are over here. That's where they are. Another broken thing. And now on the inside of this roof, I'm gonna try to get at it. In the roof here, there's a ketchup and a mustard container right there for Condiment King. If you can, see if we can zoom in on that. I might zoom in on it on post. There is a crossword puzzle in there that says, riddle me this, which is really cool to have something in there. Unfortunately, it is so hard to reach that, to show anyone that it's even there. But, you know, knowing that it's there and being like, oh yeah, there's actually a thing in the roof, that's enough for me. I can just be like, yeah, I know it's there. No one else needs to know. I just broke it. So now let's move to the second floor. So, okay, you know what? I'll just hold the ring light for here, because I kind of can't get you guys at a good angle. So on the second floor, you know, we have our cells here. We have Poison Ivy's cell in here, which has a little plant growing out of it. Then over here, we have a little picture of Amadeus Arkham, just tilted on the wall. We have a little no coins, umbrellas, playing cards, stuff, sign right there. And if we turn this around, in here, we have some really cool references. Now this owl is a reference to the Court of Owls. We have a little reference to the Eraser supervillain in there, which is really nice. But there's a little X-ray machine over there, a menu of a bunch of the food, laughing fish soup, chicken legs, and a snow cone for whatever reason. And then, oh baby, right in here we got Harleen Quinzel's office. There's a little doctorate for Hugo Strange, which is nice. The little sofa. A few case files. Harvey Dent's coin. Some other stuff on this wall over here, being the Employee of the Month sticker for Harleen and Most Wanted for Harley Quinn, which that's really cool. There's a little tape recorder. I guess that's referencing the Arkham games when you have to collect those tape recorders, which, I mean, that's pretty nice. And then over here, there's a little calendar with Calendar Man on it. The poisoned water, done with Scarecrow's poison fear toxin. And then, I think I just broke something. No, I didn't. We got the guard tower, which I will just pop off so that we can look on inside. Little bat signal in there. Some microphones to talk to them, a red line for the alarm, a little cup with the poisoned water in it. And that's pretty much it for the second floor of this thing. Again, really, really well built. There was a lot of stuff in here that I was really, really happy with when I was building it. I was kind of just, it was impressive how this set is built. You know, there's a lot of techniques in here that I would have never thought of if I was trying to build something like this. So it was just so nice to build it. Now we are on the ground floor and the outside. We're going to talk about all that together in this little thing here. So we have the cells yet again. We got an open cell over here, a cell here with, I think, a folded up little jumpsuit, which is kind of nice. A bunch of these cameras are just splayed around the whole build. And then we got this little cell here, which, oh no, there's a hole in there. So if you turn it around, someone's digging out with a spoon. That is so nice. And then, same with on the second floor, we have the no coins, umbrellas, playing cards, or anything like that, but it's graffiti this time. So it's saying check mark, so yes, please have those. I wonder who could have done that, and maybe those laughing marks might mean something. Then we have another x-ray machine, except this time there's a spoon being seen in there. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in on that to get a better look of it. Boom, right there, skeleton with that. You got all of these little security cameras being seen. So you got Scarecrow poisoning the water, Bane pumping iron, Joker grabbing a camera. You got the Batman Returns right there. And now, this makes me a little sad. On this camera screen, we have Clayface holding up his little number thing, which you do in, you know, when you get your camera taken for, I guess, to be processed by, I don't know. I've never had that happen. Which, that is unfortunate. I really wish we had gotten a Clayface in here. But then we got open all cell doors. A little stand up with Mr. J. Spoon missing. I wonder where that spoon is. Maybe that's what they dug out with. That is so cool. This whole set has like references to this spoon is missing. Where's the spoon? Oh, there's an x-ray of a dude with a spoon in it. Oh, this guy dug out a hole with a spoon. Like, it's so nice how things are interconnected sometimes. Like, that is awesome. A bunch of chemical formulas up there, a little coffee stain thing, and then there's radium under the table. Now, I might be wrong about this, but when I was building it and I saw the radium, my mind immediately went to Dr. Phosphorus. That might be completely stupid and wrong, but that's what I thought of. I'm not sure if that's what that's supposed to be referencing, but that's what I thought of. Then we got the maximum security door, which when opened, it's like a padded cell. That's really cool. That was an interesting building techniques that were used in there. It was really nice to build though. You got a little hole in the wall, someone's breaking out. Now we're gonna move on to the outside portion of this. So I put everything back up together, so we're gonna start talking about the outside now. Let's start with the Arkham Asylum sign. Now this is genuinely, like, it was a really interesting building technique. Getting these letters lined up as well as I did was annoying, I will admit that. Very annoying. I tried my best. They might be off still slightly. It kind of sucks, as well as I know I kind of messed up that sticker for the Asylum, but I love putting on Lego stickers. Next thing we got is actually this Gotham City sewer grate with the claw marks on it. So that, again, another reference to Killer Croc. It's really, really cool though. So now we got the main centerpiece. That's kind of the most visible thing. This little angel, and she's been graffiti. That will happen from time to time, but she's been graffitied, which is really cool. However, if you want an Arkham, you're gonna zoom in, focus on her, focus in on her, focus on her. Okay, whatever. If you wanna, there we go. If you want to have a clean Arkham, she has another face print that has not been graffitied, which is really, really nice for those who want just something completely clean and nice looking. However, you're gonna have to do a lot of modifications to this set to make it completely clean and nice. I will admit that. So now over on this side, we have a broken grate with Hitchhikers May Be supervillains on it, which is really nice. You got Clay out here, which is, again, like knife in the back about Clayface not being in this set. That's unfortunate. There's so many references to him in this set that it's kind of just sad sometimes. But then we got this smile you're on camera sign right next to it, which is quite cool. You know, it's like Joker's vandalized it, and the Hitchhikers May Be supervillains. That being the Clay there is really disheartening and really sad. But, you know, it is what it is. But then when you come to the back of the building, you have a little snowman over there, some water coming out of the drain pipe, which goes all the way up there, and then this little back door here. Restricted access, not a revolving door, but someone has graffitied again on that to make it unrestricted. I wonder who that could be. As well as, I really love this not a revolving door sign there, because Arkham, a lot of the times in universe, is called a revolving door. You know, supervillains come in, they escape, they come back in, they escape. It's constantly called that. But my favorite thing back here has to be in the garbage can. Do you know what all that is? From the Lego video games, you get blue studs, gold studs, silver studs, and purple studs. And they specifically let you put all of those in this trash can. That is a huge call out for the original Lego games that I love. That is so amazing. You know, Lego Batman 1 was my first introduction to Batman in general. So that is beautiful to see. Now, we've got some little stickers here behind the cells. So let's go to the top one, I guess, first, because the top one kind of, you know, you see it. And this is where I mentioned, sorry, my cat's playing with the toy. I mentioned earlier that my favorite Batman supervillain isn't in this set. Well, there he is. Two-Face is my favorite Batman supervillain, and unfortunately, he's not included in this set. Even though every other villain from the 2006 Lego Batman wave is accounted for here. Two-Face is not. And that's unfortunate, especially with that sticker. I really wish he was, but he's not. However, that's still cool to see him. That's cool. You know, having half of his face torn off from the vote for Harvey Dent. Just kind of like being like, oh, Harvey Dent is Two-Face. Half of his face is bad now, right? That's an interesting call out. I love that. And then down here, We have a Visit Metropolis sticker with the Daily Planet. What could that be referencing? What will become of that? Only time will tell. And then we have a Wayne Money thing here, where it's like one of these things are taken off. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And a hello there with a paw print, probably from Catwoman, if I were to be a betting man. Well, anyways, that is Arkham Asylum. Absolutely beautiful set. And if I were to say anything, I would say, please support this set, support Lego DC. We need more DC sets, because if they come out to be this quality, then that is a godsend. Absolutely amazing. And I did promise at the beginning of this video that I would show you guys my city. You have seen the layouts of it slightly from the background, but we're gonna go into a little bit of a deeper, going into it deeper a bit here. So if you're not interested in that, thank you for watching the video. You can call off now, but we're gonna be going through the city in just a second. So unfortunately, I can't have my ring light with me because it needs to be plugged in. So it's just gonna be a camera here. Now, as you can tell, the table don't have no base plates on it. I haven't ordered them yet. So this is just a rough layout of what the city's gonna look like so far. With the new Arkham Asylum being right here, connected to the 2006 one in this way. So there's a hole right over there on this side here of this Arkham Asylum. So now that hole will be covered up by the old one. I will straighten it out a little bit. I haven't done that yet. I just kind of, this is a rough placement of where everything's gonna go. So we have Arkham Asylum over here. It's much larger now, with the 2006 one being right here. The two vans are gonna be over here. I'm planning on building a little fence that goes around here and then connects back over here, or possibly connects to this one and then goes in to over there after. So that we have this main watching tower or something. I'm not 100% sure yet what we're gonna do with that. But this is the Arkham Asylum area. Then right across from Arkham is the Daily Bugle. You know, I bet you're wondering, why would a newspaper company rent land right across from an asylum? And one word, well, I guess two words: property tax. And then we got the Hulkbuster fighting a Lex Luthor mech that I made custom, with Superman helping. Zod's tearing the part out of the wall here. And my whole idea for this city is that it's a multiversal event going on. So there's Marvel stuff and DC stuff happening everywhere. I'm planning on putting some Star Wars, like an AT-AT walking on a street or something. Just, you know, stuff like that. So we have the Daily Bugle here. And then over on this side, got the Up House, just right there. And what I'm planning on doing is having Daily Bugle there, another skyscraper, and then just a plate of green grass for the Up House, just so that I can be in between two skyscrapers like it is in the movies. Because I feel like that would be kind of funny looking, right? So we got all these vehicles here. We got Indiana Jones walking an ambulance, and then my 2006 Two-Face Chase here, my beloved Two-Face, is being stopped by the Igor suit while Batman and Nightwing catch up to him. And then there's a bunch of police officers around the Donut Shack, the Avengers campus, which has yellowed way too much. It's unfortunate, but you have the Avengers campus using the old Avengers Tower in the Avengers compound. And then we have an Overwatch set being a little archway into the park, which has the second part of the Ninjago City Gardens. And then in that corner that's empty, I'm planning on building a hill that's gonna have a gateway and a hole in it to go somewhere I'll show you in a second. But then we have here, you know, two cars. The road design I'm planning on building throughout the whole City. And then again, the 2006 stuff. Oh, these also came in Arkham. I forgot to, I'll just record an extra part on that. Then we have Ninjago City Gardens right here, which is going to be a part of the ocean with the black pearl hanging off of that. I built this table with particle board, so this came off and yeah. But we have the black pearl here. And then right behind it, we got the Bat Boat with Aquaman and Black Manta fighting on top of it. Now, this corner is going to have a hole cut out of it. But where will that hole lead? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the Bat Cave. So I have a bunch of stuff there. There's gonna be a hole. It's gonna cut down. I'm probably gonna build a driveway down out of foam. And then you're gonna drive through all these Star Wars ships that I have layered here into the Bat Cave. Now, I'll bring this out into the light so it's not completely dark. This is the Bat Cave I have so far. I'm using the the Batman's Bat Cave as a base with a custom Batmobile that I built myself. Little side sections here with Batman fighting on his tool shed. The Bat computer up there with Riddler, just seeing his face there. Man-Bat flying around. And over here, we got the Batwing, a Bat Cycle. I have a second Bat Cycle, but my cat must have knocked it down like he loves to do. And then over here we have our suit display with all of the different suits that I own. Two-Face is down there. Mr. Freeze is freezing one side of it. Harley Quinn's shattering one of them. And then we have a gunship in here, which is loading up. So I'm gonna have a bunch of clones walking around that. Like I said, multiple different universes will be accounted for in my city. But that's what I have so far, is the Batcave and the layout of the city. Let me know if you guys want a continuation of this whenever I do something, but that's what I got so far. And thank you guys so much for clicking this video where we talk about the new Arkham Asylum that just came out. It's an absolute beauty of a set. Thank you guys so much. And again, like I always say, have a good rest of your day. And if it's night, have a good sleep.